as a citizen to say, I want to teach the Constitution to all the students in this school.
And they're supposed to, yes, the Constitution is supposed to be, if there's somebody that will do that. We have a group, the group that sells us these 1995 books for cheap enough that we can get them to everybody here, you know, with a $5 donation. It covers this. We're getting these for about $4. It's National Center for Constitutional Studies. And over the years now, they have sent out, gosh, I remember one year we sent out 130,000 packages that had, not the 5,000-year leap, but a Miracle of America, and it had this, some teaching materials, all of them for free to 130,000 schools that particular year, and they've done it, you know, for decades now, specifically for September 17th, Constitution Day, to be used. And some schools use them and some don't. The majority do not, I'm sure.
Well, a one-day nod is not gonna, you know, we're doing a brief overview in 9 weeks, you know, I mean, what could we really hope the students to get imparted? I mean, I guess if they get a build on it every year, maybe,
But if you run for Board of Education locally.
It's a spark. It's a spark to say there's something better out there. Are you looking? Are you paying attention? Do you care?
Just confront them with gross stupidity. Say, name the 5 freedoms in the First Amendment. Lawyers can't even do that.
I count 6 of them.
Okay.
But, you know, that's arguable.
You're talking about teaching the Constitution?
That's Doc.
This is
Doc
Doc Collins. He gave, I don't know,
He
several
gave out a
hundred,
bunch of
100
5,000-year
books.
leaps.
Yeah, right. That's what he was doing. So why don't I have any volume here?
Over there in
Oh.
Van Zandt
Where's
County.
this?
Doc Collins in Van Zandt
Where
County.
is it?
It's in
Dayton
Van
High
Zandt
School.
County. It's,
Before it
That's
got
where we
hit by.
live. We live in Van Zandt County.
and he's given them copies of it, asking them to read it.
Who is that he's given to?
The
school
school board.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
The school board, among other things, is choosing the curriculum, the books that are used. And by the way, we live in a lot easier place in America than if you're in Massachusetts or anywhere up north or the coast and so on. But here, people are pretty patriotic, and even if they haven't read it, they believe in the Constitution. If the Constitution says it, okay, then I'm. But you know, and so people here are at TJC, where I teach at TJC. They say that 70% of the professors in American colleges are liberal and believe in moral relativism rather than absolutes. You know, but that's not true at TJC. I mean, all of the teachers there. We have one kook there that says you can't talk about God. I won't mention his name, but I said, you teach federal government? How do you teach federal government? How do you teach God-given unalienable rights here in America without talking about God, you know?
You cannot talk about the founding fathers without talking about that either.
No, you can't. That's right. Because it's the basis of everything in America is God's sovereignty that he delegated to us when he gave us unalienable rights.
Oh.
Just being able to
Thank
use the
you.
word God in school is good.
Yeah, one thing surprises me, like, America is a Christian country, but it says, no, it's a secular country. So how did this happen, like, is it,
That's what he said in words.
What is a secular country, did you say?
I mean, is it a secular country, or is it a Christian country?
Well, there are most people in
That's
America
what the
are
Constitution
more people here are Christians,
Yeah.
but when we say secular, we're just talking about government and public things and so on. I recommend you read. Which one of these is it in here? It's one of the ones for this week that talks about, and basically it is a Christian concept that everybody ought to be free to practice whatever religion they believe in or no religion at all. And that's what the Constitution institutes here in America. That was not true if you're reading in the Found Thousand League. There's 7 of the 13 colonies had a state religion. They were the Congregational Church, or you know, Massachusetts was the Puritans. I think they called themselves Congregational. But they were different until the 14th Amendment. You still had states that had a state religion. You know, but we don't have
That's
that
why they
anymore
didn't
in
want the
America.
feds to control it.
And on a national level, the Constitution said you can't have any religious test whatsoever. We don't believe in that. Just because most of them were Christians, no, they're not telling people that they have to believe in the Christian religion or believe in those principles. They can believe whatever they want or nothing at all, you know. I'm just saying it's a Christian concept, but so is this a Christian nation? Well, there's the majority of people here are Christian, and the principles, yes, of the Constitution are mostly Christian principles, but it was based on the idea that it doesn't matter what religion you are, because we're not here to determine, what God will determine, after this life. We're here to determine government actions. And Benjamin Franklin, by the way, came up with, if you read about in one of these things here, the 5 basic tenets he said of universal religion that said, that God is the sovereign, and that we all have rights, and that we ought to treat each other right, and that all religions agree on that, and so on.
I got a cramp in my leg, sorry, that's what I'm saying.
He doesn't want you to-
I thought you were really anxious to.
Well, I am anxious, but I got a cramp too.
As a Christian nation, we can say lots and lots of people believe in Christ, but do you follow Christ's teachings? That's a different thing. It's the same thing. Do you believe in the Constitution? Yes. Have you read it? No. So it depends, it depends on what you believe in. And you can believe that this is all a Christian nation, but it isn't, even if you say you believe in something. I believe in fire ants. I don't see any right now, but I do believe in them, and especially
Come to our
when I
lake
see
house.
them.
It's a Christian country, it's a Christian nation, but I think that surprises me sometimes when I read news, it's like,
And Obama won't speak.
God
to
is
it.
out.
Back and,
Yeah.
and you're looking at
We're
5 till
talking
8.
East
I'd love to point out that the main reason families got together, hired a teacher for their school. If you couldn't pay, they might let it. There may be some people that say, "I'm sorry, I can't take your kid." Where everybody is wrong. Those that don't have any faith are now being by the separation of the letter from Thomas Jefferson.
Justice Black reinterpreted it.
About separation of church and state. You'll get some, just the general thing is true that these are all correct. Add that last one on there. The one that's talking about the religious basis.
It's not this week's reading. It's
It
next
could either
week's.
be in full, it's probably in principle 4, yeah. I think it's probably in principle 4.
He took all the minutes they collected from the Constitutional Church or something, he noted who it was, and he could bring the information since the Bible times and anything else. They mentioned Montesquieu in here, but he had 2 treatises that were read by all the delegates 1,500 times between these 2 constitutions.
So it had tremendous influence to say, we're not saying any, that's
Yeah.
not allowed in America.
One break from any state endorsed religion. Actually, that's what
Yeah.
they're accused of.
Yeah, arguing the establishment of religion, at least
That establishment and
clause is
free
different.
exercise, yeah.
Make no law establishing, so they're 2 different clauses, 2 different
Right.
things.
We wrote that letter to the Baptist Christian services that were held in the Capitol. He was screwed up. No, he wasn't screwed up.
Oh, we do, pardon, we do have a little bit of a problem. This is a hunt, and so I think when we talked like 90 minutes of it or whatever, and then the prayer takes,
It's about sundown, about 5 to 10 minutes.
we watch,
Yeah.
so we do the whole thing, we start right at 6 o'clock, and we'll watch it until someone says, you've gotta go.
But I think if you start 6, it
prayer
will
is
be
going
done by
ahead. Every day, we can look at the evening is with the sunset, so every day it goes minutes, 2 minutes ahead.
Oh, okay.
Because it goes with sundown.
And when is it today, for example?
So for next week, I think next week we will start at 6, we will be fine.
Pardon?
We will be fine by the time.
45.
It's almost 2 hours long. It's 111 minutes, so it's,
Yeah.
if we started at 6 o'clock, we wouldn't be done until
7:39 is sunset tonight.
So it may be 7:50 by next time.
That's fine, no problem. We can-
Yeah, in worst case scenario, we'll just pause it for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and
Or we could finish the last 10 minutes.
it's a really good show.
It's a good movie. You get the spirit of the Constitutional Convention and several of the main highlights in it, and it'll be a good basis for our next few weeks after that.
This one probably a good one if anybody has any, young to middle-aged kids. I mean, you might get them to watch a movie more than you'll get them to listen to our wonderful professor.
So you went to law school, did you finish your law degree? Were you a lawyer for a while?
No, I graduated, but I went because I was intended to get into politics and save the world, which I'm still gonna do, but family got in the way. I did political stuff for about 7 years, and then
Okay. Well, in teaching, you've been teaching.
I teach now. My wife 6 years ago said, Tom, you gotta get a real job. This real estate stuff. And what's a real job? That's where you go into work, and then they send a paycheck regularly in the mail. I said, okay, I'll do it,
I tried it, it's still good.
but I still get to do it.
He tried it 40 years ago and didn't like it, so he quit.
Combined two families, my 7 and her 12, and she said, Tom, I need the security. And so if you'll just work a job as a janitor, I can work 4 jobs as a janitor. We won't give